Yeah. Two DJs in the mic, what's the vibe tonight? Talking issues, dropping gems, keep the game airtight. Spin it, flip it, mix it, fix it, yo, we here to ignite. Yeah. Hands on the decks, but the crowd don't move. Blame the DJ, not check the groove. Playlist stale, need some brand new. Crates full of dust, man, what you tryna prove? Yeah. Clubs want cheap, DJs want respect. Promoters cutting corners, man, the scene's a wreck. Yeah. Sink or scratch, doesn't matter the tech. It's about the energy, not the brand on the deck. Two DJs in a mic, turn the dark to the light. Dropping wisdom, spinning true, get the balance just right. Two DJs in a mic, elevate, take flight. Fix the game, spark the flame, keep the future in sight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was one. Man. As always, it's
music to ears.
Yes.
Get the stuff on, get the questions rolling in the ground. Let's go.
So we want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Two DJs, One Mic. And I have on my right, and some of you guys left, the infamous DJ JP, and me being the nice guy of all times. And we're welcomed by someone straight across land, water, sky.
Just land.
Yes, the great Jordan St. Jacques. How you doing, Jordan?
I don't know what to say. How am I supposed to live up to that intro?
just take it.
Same way I try to live down to mine.
How are my two favorite Dallas DJs?
Man, we're doing well.
Yes, we're doing good.
Nice.
Summer is approaching us. It's meltdown weather, so we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're surviving.
Wow. Anytime you feel like cooling down, come on up here to Canada and enjoy the the lower temperatures.
I don't think I have it in me.
Well, summers are pretty good up here. Summers are just as warm here as they are in the USA.
Really?
But winters, I got to tell you, when I hear about Americans complaining in the wintertime, I have to laugh.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because a few years back, there was like this, 2-inch snowstorm in Atlanta. And there was all these accidents and people complaining and saying that it was the end, Armageddon and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, you guys are freaking out about something that we would just call Tuesday.
Hey, we had one this year too where they shut the city down for about 3 or 4 days. Nobody moved for 4 days. You locked in. But hey, we got y'all. That's on y'all.
And we had a thin sheet of ice.
Yeah, you keep that. We good.
I guess they just make them tougher up here.
Yeah, y'all do.
Cold tough.
Yeah, cold tough.
Yes, that's what
there you
come
go.
on down here to hot tough. Yeah, come on down here for this heat. But man, let's get into why we're here about these good old proms and the connection and the many things you got going on with proms, man. And just tell us, let's get into it, Mike. Let's roll.
Oh, okay. No sweet talk.
I mean, we did sweet talk.
Hey, well, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Jordan, let's start with your DJ career. Tell us about your background as a DJ and what led you to wanting to specialize in proms and school dance.
Well, listen, when I was going to University of Toronto, I was living in a crazy residence called Devonshire House. And Devonshire House was University of Toronto's version of Animal House. And I had a job at a record store. Believe it or not, it was called Cheapies. And if anybody remembers Toronto from back in the day, Cheapies was right at the corner of a major intersection called Yonge and Dundas, which is kind of like Toronto's Times Square. So I had accumulated a pretty sizable music collection. And so I started DJing those parties. And when it was time to graduate, I took my student loan money one year. Don't tell them this. I took my student loan money one year, and I bought some speakers, bought some decks, all that kind of stuff. The first, remember the old Denon Mark II 2000? I can't remember the exact name, but I bought one of those. I bought an amp, bought some speakers, a couple of not very good lights, and started DJing all the sorority formals and stuff like that. And I got into it, right? Quickly, though, I discovered that out of, youthful events, the money was all in the high schools, right? And you got to remember, I wasn't a guy who did a lot of weddings or corporates or anything like that. I liked the clubs and I liked the student parties, right? High school, college, nightclub. That was me.
Was it about the girl?
Sorry?
Was it about the girl?
A girl.
Well, at first it was at the college ones anyway, but the high school ones, don't forget, this is pre-Napster. I know I'm dating myself here, but before Napster, right, you could do a video dance, and we're talking like the 1990s when you're getting paid a couple of grand a night for an actual video dance. Back then, that was good money. So I gravitated towards the schools, and of course, if you're going to do schools a lot, you need to do a pretty good prom. And so over the course of my DJ career, as we morphed into, school specialty and all that kind of stuff, my company, which actually had satellite offices all over Canada in the northeastern part of the USA, we did over 1,000 proms in 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, you want to talk about prom king? I'm the king of proms.
Yeah, you are.
In fact, if you go to the domain name kingofproms.com, you're going to see me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I myself DJ'd over 100 proms during that time. So 1,000 proms plus for the company, 100 proms plus for me personally. So, and of course there was a ton of nightclub stuff and a lot of school dances, because back then, these days, what do you have for school dances? You got like some sort of a homecoming, maybe a winter formal, and then a prom, right? Yeah. That's your standard school event schedule for the year. But back then, there was, most schools, at least up in my neck of the woods, we were doing a dance every 6 weeks at some of these schools. So anyway, it was a fun time. I enjoyed it. I had to get out eventually because, I aged out a little bit, and I was traveling a lot. So I didn't really bring any helpers because it would have been too much for me to ask them to come. We were doing dances all over the place. Like we had all those big New England private schools, Andover, Exeter, Choate Rosemary Hall, where JFK went to school, and Deerfield, which is above Springfield in Mass, and, Phillips, Exeter, up in New Hampshire. I said Andover already, right? That's where the Bushes went to school.
Wow.
Right? And
Bushes.
We made money.
Yeah.
I wish I still had some of that money.
Let me ask you a question. How big were the proms you did? What was the average size? Kids.
600 to 800 kids.
And you did it by yourself?
Yeah, I had my gear situated in such a way where I could roll in with a full 2-screen video dance and a 12,000 watt sound system and set that bad boy up in half an hour.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, we were one of the, so those video screens, right? Like the ones that you can buy regularly from those AV companies, and they have those aluminum frames and they're a bitch to set up.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. We can
I actually bought a bolt of that stretchable white fabric. And I got
great idea.
My poor mother, I got her to sew loops in each of the 4 corners of a sheet of that stretchable fabric. And so what I did was I had 4 Manfrotto stands, and on each of my systems, I had 6 systems at one point. And, plus the satellite offices, right? Subcontractors. But on my systems, those 4 loops would fit over some sort of little nook and cranny on those big Manfrotto stands. And then I just cranked the stands and it would snap the cloth into place as an actual video screen.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had everything done. I had my road cases on wheels. I even had my cable boxes on wheels.
Yeah. Wow.
So everything was like listen, the first few years it was, it was not fun. Right. But eventually being, a little bit of a guy who likes to, conserve effort. That's a fancy way of saying lazy. And, I put it together so that I could, listen, if I was going at a normal pace, I set up a video dance by myself in 45 minutes.
Wow.
right? If I was late, there was traffic, I was running behind schedule. I think my record was 26 minutes. It took me to set up a full video dance one time.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, the school was a little bit freaked out. I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, the highways were not cooperating with me. I was behind my usual schedule. I get there and I'm like, you know what? Just get out of my way. Let me do my thing. And this dance will start on time. And sure enough, it started on time. And I ended up getting a years long business out of that school because they were so impressed that I saved the dance. They were all stressed, you know, 300 people outside. It was like November in New England. It was cold.
Very cold.
Sounds painful.
Yeah. So anyway, the long and short of it is I had a great DJ career. Obviously, I did a ton of gigs. But you know what? By the time I hit my late 30s, kind of burned out a little bit. I didn't want to lift gear anymore.
Wow.
So I decided to move on, and that's when I actually got into promoting.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Well, let's touch on that. You know, the promoting teen events. You know, tell us about the experience and how you work your way, you know, up and down East Coast and for Live Nation, Vivacon, and independently.
All right. So 2004, I was still active as a DJ, but trying to max out my off nights. Those Sunday nights when there's no school on the Mondays, I actually said to myself, why don't I try and do something in the clubs and produce my own event? I had seen others do it, you know, made a ton of money because you're not sharing, you know, you're not just taking a check from the school and the school's keeping most of the money. You're actually the man, right? The one who's at the door taking the cash. So it was in Buffalo, and I did a deal with a club called Infinity. God, it was just like this small sort of hick country bar on the outskirts of the city. And so I roll in there and I'm like, what are you guys doing with your Sundays when it's a holiday weekend? And then they said nothing. So I said, listen, let us do our thing. Cause I had a partner on that brand at the time. I said, let us do our thing. We'll roll in here. We'll split the cash with you. So we did well on opening night. Club's capacity was 572. We put 900 people in there. And at $15 a head on a 50-50 door split, that's okay. It was more money than we would make off of a high school dance. So I'm like, you know what? We may have something here, right? Now, here's where it gets really, really interesting and relevant long term. Right around that time was when MySpace hit a critical mass. So my partner and I, we have one of our little, street team promoter girls who was passing out our flyers at her school. And she says, why aren't we doing any advertising on MySpace? So we're like, well, what the hell is MySpace, right? So she takes us to one of those 24-hour Kinkos. Remember back then you could actually go in and rent a computer terminal? You can't anymore, right? Because everyone has a laptop. But you could back then. So we roll in. She shows us MySpace. And back then, if you remember, you could pull up a school and then see everybody on MySpace who was currently active at that school. So we're like, this is a target marketer's dream. Mm-hmm. So my partner and I sat there in the Kinkos for 22 hours straight, just clicking, be my friend. Friend requested over and over and over again. This is fall 2024. This is like in the very early days. So anyway, we ordered 22 hours. We're ordering food, coming right to our, I think the front counter guy at Kinko's was a little stressed, wondering what the hell we're doing. So by the end of that first week, we had already built up a profile of 5,000 friends. And the next party these are all Buffalo teenagers. The next party we threw in Buffalo, our numbers went up from about 800 to 900 a night to 2,200 people in a nightclub that could only fit 572 legal capacity. Our MySpace knocked it out of the park. And as far as the event goes, that particular event was a disaster, right? Fights, people couldn't get in.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was an awful, awful, awful party. People going home, they were pissed, complaining. parents calling, saying, I'm going to file a Better Business Bureau complaint about you guys. And I'm like, hey, listen, I understand, Anyway, we moved to a much bigger venue for the next event. And at that point, we were averaging 1,500 people a night to 2,000 people a night. But here's the thing. Before MySpace, you actually had to have an active presence in a city in order to be able to throw down, right? MySpace allowed us to launch in new cities without actually living there. So Buffalo, we added Rochester, we added Syracuse, we added Albany, right? Going across the I-90 there, if you're looking on a map. Then we went down to Scranton and Harrisburg and launched there. Then we decided to go after the big fish, and we went to New England. And in spring of 2006, we finally launched in Boston at a place called the Wonderland Ballroom / Club Lido, because depending on the kind of event they had, they just flopped the name around, right? Club Lido was their Latino nights. Wonderland Ballroom was their concerts. Same venue. But it was 3 rooms, and it was huge. So the first event in Boston, right, club capacity 2,900 or so, and we killed it with about 4,000 people. So, and by then we had raised our price to $20, and we were still doing 50-50 door splits. So you can do your own math. It was not bad. And at that point, I had started to say, okay, you know what? Why am I busting my hump? Sweating with gear for a $1,500 to $2,000 check when I can roll out of a club like that with 15 to 20 grand for a night. So I wrapped up the DJ business. That's when the DJ business finally ended. My last gig was 2008. And FX, which, run by the Nightlife Group, was the promotions brand. Mm-hmm. And from 2004 to 2013, we actually threw down in 29 different cities, all up and down the East Coast, inland, Cleveland, Dayton, Cincinnati, upstate New York, Pennsylvania. Our biggest cities of all were Boston, of course. Boston was our home, our hub, right? But then our second biggest city was Philadelphia. And I swear to God, we killed it, right? Until the end. When, because we were using, listen, what happened in 2008 was MySpace fell off and Facebook came up. So we rinsed and repeated our social media skills. And we were in Boston, we were sending out event invites of 150,000 teenagers a shot. Remember those related event invites on Facebook? Mm-hmm. We were, just throwing down huge event invites. Wow. And then finally we came to the attention of Live Nation. We moved our hub down to Orlando, a place called Downtown Disney House of Blues, which was, it's kind of that sort of House of Blues is the hub for Live Nation in the Southeast.
20K, Glenda.
Sorry, say again?
No, someone said 15K. I was saying 20K, Guild.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm just trying to be modest a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, by numbers about 80K.
Yeah. If you do 4,000 times 20, that's $80,000.
Yes.
Give or take.
Well, there were a few nights that were pretty big. Listen, when the tea night business was booming, I was not complaining.
I'm pretty sure.
So you combined it with Live Nation, and then it just took, and you kept doing it. How long did that run go?
2004 to 2013. Now, where it starts to die off is the rise of festivals.
Yeah.
Okay. When, kids would rather spend $300 and go to one festival for a summer than actually spend $20 to $30 to go out to like a good teen club night. Mm-hmm. Right? 18-year-olds are still going out to clubs and things like that, depending on the location, right? They don't go out as much as they used to. But the teenagers, they're waiting for the festival. They want the $10 million production. And, as much as I was a good promoter, they didn't have $10 million in the bank to do that kind of thing. So anyway, 2004 to 2013 was all about promotions. And as much as we did a whole bunch of 18 plus stuff, the teen nights was where we really excelled and what we were known for, right? Live Nation didn't care that we know how to do an 18 plus night because they do that on their own, right? But they didn't have anybody to do the teenagers. And so, the independent stuff that we did was supplemented by the fact that we had contracts with Live Nation and, of course, Viacom, which owned MTV. So anyway, 2013. Are you there, guys? Your black screen.
Yeah, we're here. Power kicked off on us for some crazy reason.
We're here.
There you go. Yeah. I was lonely there for a second.
Don't be lonely.
So, all right, getting back into it, right? In 2004, our last event was spring 2013. And at that point, the writing was on the wall. And as much as my head promoter, a girl by the name of Lexi Storm, who was just fantastic, number 2 kind of thing. As much as we were both sad at letting it go, it had fallen. Our Orlando event, which used to max out House of Blues at downtown Disney, had fallen to the point where we had to move it to a small club that could fit 200 people because that was all that was coming out. Wow. It just unfortunately, the regular teen club night became less of a thing. And it didn't just happen to me. There was a guy in Long Island. If you remember, I don't know if you remember the show Growing Up Gotti. Well, their mentor, a guy by the name of Quack Quack, was on the show, and he was the one throwing the Long Island teen nights. And he used to kill it, but it died for him too. Quack. Then there was a crew out of Brooklyn called No ID.
Quack Quack did too much yak yak.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, there was a crew out of Brooklyn called No ID Teen Nights, and they were doing bigger numbers than us. I mean, he was just local. He was just doing New York City, right? But he used to do these massive numbers. I was actually kind of jealous. I tried to steal his swag a little bit, but I couldn't do it. So he ended up flaming out. And then the biggest flame out was a crew out of California named OC Stars, right? And they were like us. They did San Diego. They did, up in the Bay Area. They even did Chicago and Phoenix and stuff like that. Basically West Coast version of us. And they ended up flaming out as well. So you can see that teenagers' habits in general changed. They would rather go to a huge, huge festival and pay the $300 than, come to our thing. Now, what's really funny though, is in the last few years, we're starting to see a shift. They don't want to go to the big festivals anymore because the big festivals are overplayed. They just want to go out and have an organic experience with their friends. So I'm thinking about maybe doing something, although I'm a little older now, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, but anyway, those first two things, you can see that when I was still a DJ, we had tons of experience in actually booking proms at schools, right? And during the FX days, we generated a huge amount of experience and skill in marketing directly to students, which is why, there are two foundational aspects of national proms: selling to schools, selling to students, and making sure that we create opportunities for both the B2B vendors that are going after the student or the prom committee business, and B2C opportunities for those kinds of vendors that are going after the students. Like, for example, the dresses, the tuxedos, the limousines, things like that. Florists.
Okay, well, we don't want to move too fast. You're beating us to the gun. We want to ask questions.
Talk to me.
Okay, so first, we got a question for Mr. Sick Miller,
which has nothing to do with
he asked a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you gonna be at DJX doing any training or anything on websites?
Not this year.
Okay, well, that gets that done.
All right.
In fact, I may not even make it to Las Vegas either.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just, listen, I love both shows. Mm-hmm. DJX in Atlantic City is the big longtime king, let's say, right from the days when they were called DJ Expo. But I've just got too much work to do, and when you go to those shows, what happens is you ended up seeing a lot of your friends. And even though you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to do my seminars, then I'm going to go back to my room and do work, it never happens.
Never.
No, you're right. It
Never.
never
I'm
happened.
a living witness.
When you're walking around in the lobby or the restaurants or whatever, I mean, what am I supposed to do if I'm walking by and I see Jeffrey Powell hanging out?
Yeah, in a onesie
at the buffet or something like that? I'm like, how am I supposed to go in my room and do?
I know, and everybody's dragging you to parties and let's go eat here, let's have dinner here.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Well, it's not even so much that. I don't really go out to the nightclubs very much because I'm like I said, I'm a little older. Plus,
though everybody wants to go eat and pick your brain or talk about something. So
well,
drag.
I don't mind that because usually what happens is you'll identify somebody that actually needs help, and you end up scoring a new client or at least a new friend.
Yeah. I mean, I love it, but like you say, it is. If you're trying to get something done, it can be tough. But if you're on a mission and you just put your head down, put on some blinders, and walk back to your room, you might be able to get away with it. Or if you're staying at a different hotel, otherwise you're gonna get caught up somewhere. So
The other thing is Atlantic City is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to. Right? You got to fly to either JFK in New York or Philadelphia, the airport in. And you got to arrange some sort of transportation. And let me tell you, taking the bus or the train is not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's really weird.
We know because we
really
usually
weird.
find in Philly and we have to catch that bus. But I'm gonna try to deal with the train this time. So we'll see.
I don't know, like for me, I prefer just to be picked up by a limousine.
Don't we all?
Yes.
We're gonna talk to Sean about that.
I tell you what, if you can arrange the 2 DJs, 1 mic limousine, I'll go to Atlantic City.
I'm gonna start working on that tomorrow. Yeah, we can get a limousine. We can get a car to come and get us.
Oh yeah.
We had somebody pick us up last year.
Yeah, we can get you a pickup.
Yeah.
Well, I actually talked to a guy named Sean Hazen, who is the owner.
Yeah.
He bought the show a few years back.
Of course.
And I talk to Sean Hazen every week. And one time I actually suggested starting to run shuttles from Philadelphia Airport. And it's a good idea. He liked it. It just, the guy has such an ambitious roadmap when it comes to DJX that he just hasn't got to it yet.
Yeah.
But I think that, if someone
That would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if someone was to actually arrange
A party bus.
a bus and say, okay, it's $10, right? And we'll take you to
Don't read these comments. Stop.
I gotta tell you, I think a lot of people would appreciate that.
Bye, Gilda.
Yeah.
Stop.
All right.
Okay.
Moving
All right,
on.
go ahead,
Jim.
Get your tickets here.
All right. After DJing and promoting, you made a move into technology. How did your tech background develop, and how did you eventually lead, to national proms? How did that lead to the national proms?
All right. So spring 2013, very sad. I returned home to Ottawa. We shut down FX. We threw our last party in May of 2013. And from there, like I said, once I get back home to Ottawa, I had to figure out what to do. And I was already really experienced in all things digital marketing. I couldn't code yet, but to do a WordPress website or SEO or social media marketing or anything like that, that was totally within my wheelhouse. So that's what I actually morphed into. And from 2013 to about 2016, right, it was just sort of, freelance work here and there, whatever. In fall of 2016, I had an idea, my first ever tech idea. It was for Canadians who wanted to buy American lottery tickets. To the big
Stop.
No, I'm not kidding. It was called Lotto Proxy. And,
Wow.
And so
surprised you didn't end up in jail.
Yeah.
we would take orders from Canadians who wanted those, high value Powerball tickets when the jackpots would go over $1 billion, right?
Uh-huh.
And we would send a runner to like in Florida to actually go and buy the tickets. We'd scan the ticket and we'd actually send it in, right? And it worked for a while until we started to get popular. It doesn't scale well, right? Like all that scanning and everything like that, it was all manual stuff and we couldn't make it work. So we shut down a lot of proxy. But while we were running a lot of proxy, I actually obtained a seat at the local tech incubator here in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know the tech business finally, right?
Mm-hmm.
All about scaling, all about coding, all that kind of stuff. And that's where it sort of starts to become, next level for me, right? Because I finally learned how to code, make my own product and everything like that. And even back then, like 2018, 2019, I started to have ideas for prom and school related projects.
Okay.
Like my first one, for example, was Prom Vote. Just a simple application for prom king and queen voting. That's it.
Is that one still alive? We need that one today.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Well, it's actually part of Prom Planner. I'll get to that.
Okay.
Then my second idea was an app called Prom Date. In other words, Jeffrey, after he asked Mike to go to prom with him, and Mike says yes, you guys can link to each other in a one-to-one relationship as opposed to one-to-many, the way your Facebook friends work, right?
Oh, wow.
So couple links to each other in a one-to-one relationship, and everybody can see who's going with who.
Wow.
That is also now part of Prom Planner.
Okay, prom date and prom vote.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of features for Prom Planner. I could list them off. There's like 25 different modules.
Just a quick question on the prom vote. Does that start before the night, or do they actually vote on the night of and you can tally it up, or does it run either way?
Well, the school can do whatever they want.
Okay. All right, cool. I like that. That's something we can sell, prom vote. I don't want to get into the date thing though. Not at all.
Why not?
No, sir. No, I'm good. I'll stay.
There's no controversy.
Huh? Oh, no, but I'm just saying, Johnny's mad because Julia's already hooked up with somebody else. And it was a DJ fault because he brought this thing in here. And I was going to ask her next week. And they already, So, yeah. But that's a good idea. I like that. Prom date. Those are cool.
I got a buddy in high school who could have saved himself a lot of embarrassment because he asked this girl to prom. But 2 days earlier, she had said yes to somebody else. And he had no idea. So here he is in the cafeteria asking this girl to go to prom with him. And she had to turn him down in front of everybody.
Well, it wasn't because she didn't want to go with him because she already had a date.
Yeah, but it still doesn't do him any good.
No, he still heard the word.
Still hurt?
No!
Yeah. And
go. He probably still hearing it to this day.
Yeah, dude, he hears about it to this day because I razz him about it.
See, I told you.
Every time we get together, I'm like, so how's Tracy doing?
Oh, man, he's got a great memory, too. You rolling off all these names and dates and equipment and company. But
I'm like the elephant man. I never forget.
But that's cool. But, yeah, that it might help out a little bit and prevent some stuff. But,
Well, but listen, you know how kids are, right? They're all up in each other's business. And we found, from our beta testing, that the prom date is actually one of the most reused features. Kids are just scrolling, saying who's going with who.
Yeah, they nosy like that.
Yeah, okay.
They are nosy.
My first prom book, I'm sending it to them once we get our gold membership.
Well, I got to tell you, by the time Christmas is here, every school in the country is going to know about this, including Texas.
All right, good.
Now, but that's not. Listen, Prom Planner is like the 800-pound gorilla with respect to what we offer at national proms. Okay. But there are other aspects, right? And this is what happened to us in April of 2020. We, as you know, that's right about the time that everybody was sort of readjusting and realizing that the world is screwed. And so, we had to figure out how the hell we're going to make a living, what the hell we're going to do to survive and perhaps even come out of COVID that much better. So we figured we had we had a few good ideas with respect to prom-related products, and we had others in the pipeline. And then at that point, I just realized we should be just throwing this all together in one mega prom software product. All right. So the idea for Prom Planner was born. And if you want to go to promplanner.app, you can actually see, don't yell at me because I got to do a few updates on the site, but you can see what Prom Planner is all about.
So what
that's it right there. I just typed it in the comments, but I'm gonna put it up. That's how.
So what has been some of your biggest challenges in building this platform?
Well, I still had to earn a living while I was actually doing all the work. I've got to remember, when you get ready for an offering like this, right? It takes a lot of unpaid labor. Years, months, years. And I didn't have an angel investor come and drop $500,000 on me, right? I've seen what happens when an unscrupulous venture capitalist rolls in and takes a commanding position in a company. A lot of the times the founder gets forced out, right? Or at least, sort of handed his hat and, there's
take your baby and do something with it that you weren't going to do.
Well, it can happen. It doesn't always happen, but it can happen, okay? So I was never going to give up control. And, it depends. You got to remember, even if a venture capitalist or an angel investor or whatever comes in and says, listen, I only want to buy 25% of the equity, right? Depending on what happens with the shareholders agreement, that investor can still control your company even at 25% because they stick in non-financial clauses into the shareholders agreement. And I've seen that happen with people who are close to me. I just didn't want that to happen to me. So you know what? Yeah, I've suffered. I've spent every dime of revenue over and above rent and food on preparing these offerings. And I think we're ready, and we stand a great chance of making this thing a success, right? I wanted to get started last year. Unfortunately, I missed the changeover with the student councils and the prom committees and all that kind of stuff. Now it's June. There's a new prom committee that has just taken over, and we're hitting people up at the right time.
Okay, so you saying you should be, if you're working proms, you should be going into the schools now, or I don't know, maybe is that Canada? They go back that early, or how does school work up there? Is it on?
Well, generally, the Canadian school year mirrors the Northeast.
All right. Okay.
Right? In the South, they start a little early. Like, for example, Florida starts in the middle of August. We don't start until that first week, just after Labor Day weekend, which is kind of what New England and New York and Pennsylvania.
No, sir. Yeah, down south, I was talking to my nephew. He's sitting in the studio listening. They start July, last week in July. Actually, they go back to school here first, the second week in August. August the 12th, school starts back in Dallas. So it's early. But yeah, so you say we should be trying to contact those prom committees now, or do you say we do it at the end of the school year because they're electing all those, or do they elect those the first of the school year?
Well, I'm doing it now because there's a greater reason for me to do so, right? Okay. As part of the marketing for all things national proms, we're actually going to be running a Win Your Prom contest. And we've got prizes lined up for schools, like, for example, in New England, Ken Costco from A Touch of Class, who you guys might remember is doing the MC work on the MEX side in Vegas every year. At that show.
Yeah.
He's the one with the flashy jackets.
Yes, of course.
So Ken is the prize giver for a free prom DJ system.
Okay.
Right. And, of course, we're helping to promote him as well. We've got Ross from Pulse in Philadelphia going to be doing the same thing in the whole, Eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey region. And we've got others across the country who are going to donate a free prom in return for the marketing support that we can give them. So we're running a national Win Your Prom contest. We've already had other types of vendors as well offer prizes. Like, we've got a lot of boutiques, dress boutiques, who have offered a free dress.
I don't know. We'll have to think about something, but it's kind of funny. This comes at the same time that I sat down and came up with a brainy idea, and we're launching something prom-wise too, and it'll fall right into what you're doing. It's just something our company is doing to make our proms bigger. Huh?
I've seen your website.
Well, you haven't seen this though. It's not even there yet.
Well, what about the link that you sent me before? Is that not the one?
APX?
Yeah.
The purple. Oh yeah, yeah. You have seen it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, but that's getting ready to launch. So, like I told you, it's kind of perfect to what we're doing. So it'd be a good launch for us too going forward.
You need more pictures, my man.
Okay, I'll tell my website guy.
Is Mike the website guy?
Yeah, he's building it for me.
Listen, with the kids, don't be afraid of using AI generated pictures, because with the kids, there's a specific reason for it. You need signed consent to use a picture of a minor online.
Yeah, yeah.
So even if you're worried about what people are going to think about your company, if you use AI, right? The alternative is that you use real pictures and get sued.
Yeah, we try to get consent. We got some good proms that we've got some consent from. So we won't do anything stupid. So
if you can get consent, that's always great. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you don't have it, don't be afraid of using AI.
We'll remember that for posting. But yeah. All right. Go ahead, Mike. Where we at?
Well, we're kind of all over the place right now. But I want to get into just the platform itself. Talk to us about, the importance of the platform. Why should DJs and other vendors become a part of this platform, and how can they do that?
Okay. So to qualify that properly, I should mention to you that there's more than one aspect to national proms. All right. The first one, the original idea, is the prom planner software. And that's like the Salesforce for prom committees. Okay. It's the big dog. All right. But we also noticed that the prom industry doesn't have a vendor directory the same way that the wedding industry does. I won't mention any names, but I'm sure you remember, you can tell who I'm talking about with respect to wedding vendor directories.
Yeah, we got that.
Okay.
Yes, thanks.
So the second aspect of proms, or national proms, is shopforprom.com.
Mm-hmm.
All one word, proper spelling.
Yeah.
Shopforprom.com. And that is a straight up shopping directory for the prom industry. Right. And it's wide ranging. It's for the whole world. At this point, the English speaking world. We've got USA, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and eventually we're going to add in the Philippines, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Philippines, everybody speaks English.
Really?
Some people not very well, but they do. The English is, if I'm not mistaken, I think English is actually their official language.
Wow. I know.
And that has a lot to do with the US because of all the military bases in World War I and World War II and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there it is. Anyway, the third aspect, so there's promplanner.app, which is the first big, it was what got this whole thing started. The second one is shopforprom.com, which is basically the vendor directory splintered off from Prom Planner. The last two aspects are real life, and you guys will appreciate this. 2 regional trade shows. The first one is called Prom Committee Expo, which, as it sounds, is a one-day event for prom committees to come on out and meet the vendors face to face. We'll also have educational seminars like how to hire a DJ properly, things like that, right? How to, what's your timeline looking like?
So when are you launching all of this?
It's phased. It's not going to happen all at once.
Okay. And are you going to go from city to city with this?
No, you are. I'm going to hire you.
I figured you were, but okay. All right.
So, and then the fourth aspect is another show, right, called promshow.com, which is your analogy of a real life bridal expo. Students go and attend, mostly high school girls. They see dress boutiques, they see limo companies, they see tuxedo boutiques, florists, cosmetics, hair care. That's your B2C, right? Business to consumer. Whereas Prom Committee Expo is B2B. And I've got some advisors. I
have a question.
Of course.
Are you sure you should be telling us this before you launch this stuff?
Well, if you want to be brave enough to try and copy my swag,
No, we're not trying to do anything. I have enough crap going on. But
all this stuff is online. Anybody who does any simple searches.
So you're going to do it out in phases, and then you're going to start going from city to city doing these big prom expos, or do you feel like you're going to do it like in just certain cities and people can come or travel to it, or are you going to regional?
It's going to be regional. Like, for example, I'm going to run this thing. The first one, I'm going to run it in Boston. Okay. Oh. We're going to expect that people are going to come from all over New England.
Wow.
Right.
Well, you got to make sure we know the date because I want to come.
Oh, yeah. Am I going to have to pay for your plane ticket?
We'll talk about all of that later. I just need.
Yeah, I'll send you money for a plane ticket if I can put you to work.
I'm coming to work. You just let me know. Right. I want to know when.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm actually, I was joking, but now I'm not, because there is a thing that we're about to launch within the next few weeks. My partner and I, Mike Marquez, my podcast partner.
Yeah,
you know who Mike is.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're launching the world's first podcast, 100% dedicated to proms.
Oh my God.
See if you can guess what the name is.
Promcast.
Exactly it, at promcast.com.
That's pretty good. But man, you're really going in on this. I mean, you don't think schools are changing or things are getting different, or you think it's just going to always be a market for this?
I think that schools may change what they do, but can you really believe that proms are going to stop?
No, but I mean,
I think it has proven, for years to be something that's going to be around for a while. And
I actually see this making them better though, because if you can go out and interview people like you do at other things instead of just, they guessing who they're hiring.
Well, he's creating standards and procedures that are not in place. They're there, but they're not in place. Yeah. And to create something where people know exactly what to do will only strengthen the very fabric of a prom.
Education.
Listen, when it comes to, especially in the B2B side, the procurement process for a company to obtain business from the school is a horrendous process.
Yeah. Very. And that's something else too. I'm sure you probably already had this, but teaching people how to do business with the schools too, getting on the list and becoming a vendor for different school districts. Because
it's a little bit different than when I did it, right? Some things are the same, getting through the secretaries and all that stuff. When I was the king of that, right?
It's not even that anymore. You have to go to the finance people. You don't talk to no teachers. You talk to them, but really it's through their purchasing department. You have to get on the vendors list, be approved, and go through all this stuff back. It's a lot now you can't just say I want to be a vendor for a school. You have to do a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, you're right. And that's why Prom Committee Expo is going to be very important, because for the first time ever, it's going to create an opportunity for B2B focused prom vendors to connect directly with the prom committees. Right? Like, imagine, if you will, like, Jeffrey, what high school did you go to?
Hattiesburg High School in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Hattiesburg. Yeah, I know Hattiesburg. Isn't that where Marcus Dupree played ball?
Wow, that's very good. Yes, he did. And also Brett Favre, Reggie Collier, Louis Lips, Tillman. Adelius Thomas. Yeah, go ahead.
Whoop-de-whoop.
Hey, I'm just giving you some. Hey, that's my school. I love that. That's my. Well,
when it comes to football, if you want to hear about the guy who should have made it but never did, Marcus.
That's him. You're right. But he played in Philadelphia. But he did come back in Hattiesburg and play for the University of Southern Mississippi.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's say Hattiesburg Prom Committee walks in to a venue and sees 10 DJ companies, 20 venues, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of photo booth companies, bunch of photographers, bunch of videographers, a bunch of decor companies, bunch of stationery companies for the invitations, right? Like, one of the biggest problems with procurement is that a prom committee doesn't have time to check out 15 different vendors in one category. So how are they supposed to know if they're getting the best deal? They don't.
They don't. They really don't. And sometimes they get.
So does your system have something in place to help them with that?
There's going to be some qualifiers or.
Oh yeah. Our gold listings, not only like the gold listings subscriptions for Shop for Prom. It's not just a listing. It's an email blast service. It's a PDF prom report.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll send you guys some stuff after the podcast. You'll see, like the gold listings. It's not just a listing; it's a marketing package.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's coming at a perfect time for us. I can't wait.
Well, listen, for a long time, right? I mean, I think it was 1991 to 2008.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Running a DJ company that where proms were our biggest moneymaker. I mean, I never did any weddings because I didn't have to. I came out of prom season I took the summer off every year. Mind you, I didn't really like weddings though. I had some as a DJ. I never really chased the weddings. I didn't do the bridal shows. And so what I would do for a while, especially in my earlier DJ days, is I would take overflow from other companies.
Mm.
And they always, for some reason, they always gave me the most depressing wedding to do. So I'm at this one wedding one time. Okay. I kid you not. This is a true story. I'm at this wedding and the groom gets up for his speech. And he's got a beer in one hand and a butt in the other hand. And he gets up there and he's saying, well, she was pregnant anyway, so I figure what the hell. I swear to God, the whole room wanted to die.
But at least he told the truth.
Yeah, but how depressing for that girl.
You don't have to say that's horrible. But wow. At least.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, you see these videos of, like, for example, Ken Costco and Ross, and they're doing these happening weddings and crazy crowds and, all the bridesmaids out there having a blast. Those look like fun weddings. But the overflow weddings that I was getting, those were never the ones that were handed to me.
Wow. That's because most weddings now most of them are fun. I had a crazy one Saturday, but.
You gotta also remember, I had all the gear, right? The projectors, the video screens, big sounds. I remember those dirty Serwin Vega bass bins.
Oh yeah,
I had those, and I was doing these big events. But the weddings, I mean, what were we getting back then? $500-600. It was hardly like earth-shattering money. I mean, now your average wedding, depending on where you are in the country, is about $2,000.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, you can make a living off that.
Yeah, you can. So
not back then.
So to nail all of this down, so when is all the official launches? When are you going to drop some things, or everybody can start checking everything out? Or
shopforprom.com is live and available for listings now.
Okay.
And here's the thing. There's a little bit of a we're approaching. So I'm sure you've heard of some of the controversies with some of those wedding directories. No names. I don't want to get you guys in trouble.
You won't get us in trouble. We have a keep it real network.
Yeah.
No names, right?
Okay.
We'll keep it high class.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I'm running Shop for Prom ethically. So, for example, let's say a DJ company hits me up for a gold listing tomorrow in Dallas. They're going to get the number one slot. And they're going to stay number one as long as their subscription is active, right? I will not play games with listing placements. I will not
rotating and
I will not play games by misreporting metrics. I will be fully transparent with metrics.
Okay.
Right? In other words,
good idea.
Actually, if somebody even wants to stick in, especially in the gold listings, if somebody wants to stick in a tracking code, so they can validate on their own how much traffic they're getting, that's fine. I don't care. Right? Yeah. If we've got a problem, let's say we've got Seattle DJs And for some reason, Seattle is not getting the traffic that the rest of the country is getting. And people are upset because they feel like their subscription is going to waste. Well, I want to know that so that I can put in some resources into Seattle.
So would it be you boosting it, or is it just you're going to be boosting it and trying to drive traffic to us just like the other no names should be doing?
Well, they should be doing that, but they're not. But as you guys have heard from my seminars at the various shows, Atlantic City and Vegas, right? I'm pretty damn good at boosting traffic to a website.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah.
So that's my job.
Okay.
Right? My job is to make sure that, well, especially for Shop for Prom, that we get the traffic. For Prom Planner, my job is to make sure that schools sign up and use the damn thing. And then, of course, for Prom Committee Expo and Prom Show, my job is to make sure that the proper attendees actually attend.
Okay, yeah.
And they all work together. That's the thing. They all feed off of each other.
So is the pricing for being having a certain level out there already? Is that out there for us to see too?
Yeah, I'm going to push it live tomorrow. I've got some changes to make, but I'm going to push it live and I'll send it to you guys. But for you, the price is $1 million.
Okay. We'll take it. We'll take it.
We'll take it.
We need some funding.
$1 million. Yes.
I
think it's great.
Remember that Austin Powers movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
$1 million.
Yes. Yeah. But I think it's going to be great. I really like it. I know you've been talking to me about it for the last 3 or 4 years. We've been going back and forth. You've been sending me stuff. I've been looking at it, and I've been like, okay, when are we going to get there? And I mean,
it's a great idea.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's always great when it's something that you've already experienced.
Yeah.
So you're not giving something that you're hoping or you think you should do this. This is coming from experience. Yeah. And there's nothing like that. So that's the one thing that I appreciate about,
we are new, right? This is the first time anybody's put together a comprehensive, multifaceted prom marketing agency.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But it's a great idea. And I'm happy that it's you doing it because you have the experience and we're excited to finally be on the list.
Yeah. And do you have a category for motivators or dancers or party starters in there?
No, because that's not really a thing for the high schools. However,
really?
It's funny that you mentioned that because we've got future plans for other types of DJ gigs.
Okay.
The next directory will be for mitzvahs.
Yeah. But I really think you need to add that because it's kind of a thing in Texas.
The CO2 guy.
Yeah.
The gunman.
The motivator.
You know what other category some people have mentioned that I haven't put in so far?
What?
Event planners.
That's another big thing here in Texas.
So you're saying in Texas that the prom committees deal with an event planner?
Let's just have hypothetical here. They have a $30,000 budget. They need somebody to spend it.
Maybe I should give them a call.
So some of these big schools that are doing that are having a event planner hire out the decor, kind of like what you're doing already, but they
orchestrate the entire thing.
They're hiring a planner to do it, like some of the big schools here. And then, they'll do a jungle theme, they'll do this theme, they'll do that. She'll hire the DJ, she'll do everything. So it is something that you may want to definitely look at adding.
Well, I know that Texas, like Florida and California, has some pretty big high schools.
Yes,
very big.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Boston and New England is different. Average high school size is about 1,000. I think that the average high school size, especially if you get rid of the Montessori schools and stuff like that, the average school size in the big states is about 2,500.
We got some that's 3,000.
Yeah.
It's something.
I know of one school in Texas that has 5,700 people. I mean, that's bigger than some colleges.
Yeah.
Is that in Houston or is that in Dallas?
I don't know. I've got every school in the world.
Yeah. Well, I know South Lake is probably going to be big. They have the 9th grade center, and then they have like the rest, everybody else goes to the same campus. And a lot of these places don't want to break up their high schools because they want all the athletes on one team for that city.
Exactly. Now, another thing that you got to remember, prom is not just an American thing anymore. Canada is fully indoctrinated in prom.
Wow.
Australia has prom. Sometimes they call them grads, but they have an end of year formal event. Same thing with England. Same thing with all of the United Kingdom. Same thing with New Zealand. Now, the Philippines has something similar. The issue with the Philippines is that the amount of disposable income in the Philippines is not quite as much as the rest of the English-speaking world. So there's, as an opportunity, we're still evaluating it, right? I mean, the Philippines is a country of 150 million people. So the population is there. We just have to figure out what they're actually spending their money on and what kind of vendors are going to want to advertise to them.
Yeah. Man, this has been really good, brother. I'm just really, I can't wait to see it fully launched and we start getting into it. And if you need some ambassadors here in the great state of Texas,
well,
and Mike are available.
Listen, I believe in you guys. What you're listing for Dallas, gold listing for the DJs, it's free.
Yeah, but I'm talking about if you need an ambassador to, help do some groundwork where you can't go. We have, we can go to schools and talk to people.
Well, I may take you up on that, but
I know you will, because you always hit me up for stuff.
Let me get a good night's sleep first.
Yep, man. But we've enjoyed it. Thank you for jumping on with us, and I'm really looking forward to the launch and seeing everything that it offers, guys. If you haven't checked it out, go check out Shop for Prom and promplanner.app and check it out. And hopefully we will see you up in the great state of New Jersey in Atlantic City, because I'm speaking this year, sir. So you should come.
Oh, what's your topic?
I'm talking about small AV companies. I started another venture, a small AV company.
A lot of DJs are starting to get into corporate AV, the smaller groups.
It's the easiest thing to do. Everybody got a couple microphones. Everybody's got some speakers, and it's really simple.
I think it's a good thing because the big AV companies charge an arm and a leg for this stuff.
Oh, yes.
And so if a DJ can make a couple of bucks while saving, especially some of the Hiltons and the Marriotts and all that kind of stuff, they're going to continue to deal with the national companies, right? You're not going to get that business. But the smaller mid-range hotels, for you to, or for a DJ, a local DJ company who, like a well-established local DJ company to extend their service in that area, it's not unreasonable.
No, and it's crazy. I just threw it out there. I went to school, and my teacher, she said, "Hey, you should do this." I looked at everything in your books, all your stuff. She said, "You should do this." So I started, and it's like stuff is coming out of everywhere. I mean, people are calling me that I never even knew, that I don't even know, and saying, "Hey, can you do this production for us?" We got stuff all the way through December now for AV work. And
well, that's because you're famous.
Stop it. You keep trying to get Mike to have more jokes. Don't give him no more material. He don't need no more material.
I'm just gassing you up a little bit, man.
But don't help him, because then I'll hear it later. You won't be here, but I'll hear it. But no, man, we really thank you jumping on for up there in Canada, and we can't wait to see you wherever you may be at. Hopefully you'll come to Texas and we'll get to see some schools with you and do something here. I think what you're trying to do would really be huge.
And if you need us, we're here to help.
We got friends in Houston, Austin, San Antonio. So if you decide to do something in those other cities too, we've made connections almost everywhere to help you cover Texas, and I can be your Mississippi connection.
Guys, I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. So, man, thanks again. Always one of the smartest people I know when it comes to AI. He was fine. Yeah. Like I say, he had 3 seminars. I sat in each one, Mike. I started in the back of the room. By the time it was over, I was up in the front assistant. I was an SA. I was a student assistant.
That's because you were taking notes.
Well, you remember you started that one, and then at the next one, I was sitting in the front. I was like, man, this is too. Especially when he put somebody on the screen and had them talking about the company, and he just created it right there while we were sitting there. It was one of the best seminars that I've seen when I've been going to these things and everything. Yeah, but We're gonna let you go, brother. We're gonna go find us some kibbles and bits out here in the good state of hot Texas, and man, we'll see you somewhere down the road, and hopefully we'll get you back on the show later on, or
I'll see you in Dallas soon enough. We got a venue scouting to do.
See?
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, you have a good one. Thank you.
Take care.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Hey.
In the mic, what's the vibe tonight? Talking issues, dropping gems, keep the game airtight. Spin it, flip it, mix it, fix it. Yo, we here to ignite. Yeah, hands on the decks, but the crowd don't move. Blend the DJ, now check the groove. Playlist still need something brand new. Crates full of dust, man, what you tryna prove? Clubs want cheap, DJs want respect. Promoters cutting corners, man, the scenes are wrecked. Yo, Saint go scratch, doesn't matter the tech. It's about the energy, not the brand on the deck. Two DJs and a mic, turn the dark to the light. Dropping wisdom, spinning truth, get the balance just right. Two DJs and a mic, elevate, take flight. Fix the game, spark the flame, keep the future in sight. Yeah. Fake followers and played streams. They chasing clout but killing dreams. Benny's playing politics, killing the scene, but we bring solutions, not just a meme. Pay the DJ, they the life of the spot. Don't let the boot get cold when the dance floor's hot. Respect the craft, don't reduce it to a bot. It's an art form, now they get the time for God. Hey, dynamite, oh, hey, dynamite, hey, dynamite, oh, hey, dynamite,